Hey yo, what is up guys, and welcome, it's Inferno, and here with some news regarding Telltale Games, and some awesome news about a new studio forming with 4 previous Telltale alumni, which is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and get into the article here. It's coming from Variety, who broke the story, an exclusive. We have it saying, former Telltale devs form Ad-Hoc Studio, continue adventure game legacy. So after what they're setting out to do, let's go ahead and jump into the article. I'll go into the main points of the article. Let's go ahead and introduce the 4 Telltale people and what they have done, because it's pretty important to go ahead and give you their credentials, okay? So we have 4 people, 3 of them who left Telltale in February 2017. So Nick Herman is the co-founder and current chief operating officer of Ad-Hoc Studio. He is my personal favorite within this little small group here, okay? He's done a lot at Telltale that I really do enjoy. A lot of Season 1, okay? He's definitely one of the main people behind Season 1. And he directed episodes 2 and 5 of The Walking Dead Season 2. But more importantly, he is the director behind my favorite Telltale game, Tales from the Borderlands. And that is why I'm pretty excited. So he's pretty awesome. He, of course, is the former creative director at Telltale Games. So what he said is that they want to go ahead and take narrative beyond what Telltale were doing. So he thinks that Telltale weren't doing as much. I don't want to twist his words, but, you know, this is my opinion of what I think he thinks, you know, what happened is that Telltale, they weren't really innovating and taking the narrative genre, interactive-wise, you know, beyond what they were doing. A lot of the games were pretty much the same without much innovation, and he wants to go ahead and change that, take narrative beyond what Telltale were doing. So hopefully that means, you know, just choices making big impacts and just great interactive narrative. That would be really great. He also says that, you know, he thinks it requires a small team. He said a smaller studio willing to take a risk. So as you know, Telltale, they got really big, you know, after Wolf Among Us. They kind of upsized their studio a lot, and you know, I believe that of course some studios can get it done, but having more smaller studios can, like, you know, really focus on that passion of your game. Having a giant studio can really, like, lose the, you know, personal and creative drive of a game in some instances, okay? If you're like upsizing really quickly, you might lose that whole personal and small team aspect of it. That's why sometimes smaller teams work very well, because they can go ahead and synergize a lot easier because they're very, very small and tight-knit groups, okay? So he wants to have a smaller team that can go ahead and take a risk and hopefully do something great for this genre right here. Next we have Dennis Leonard, who is also a co-founder, and he is a former Telltale creative director as well. Same with Nick Herman. Some of his work includes also The Walking Dead Season 1, and he has done directing of The Walking Dead Season 2 episodes 1 and 5. He also did Wolf Among Us, so that's pretty much great. And lastly, of the ones who left in 2017 is Pierre Charette, okay? He has done work on Walking Dead Season 2 episodes 3 and 5. And he also did work on Wolf Among Us before he left, okay? So that's definitely really great to hear from him as well. And lastly, he's the guy who is current CEO, but he left in 2016. Instead, we have Michael Schwang, something like that. I don't know. But he left in 2016 and went to Night School Studio, who is also a studio made up of Telltale alumni that made a game called Oxenfree that's pretty awesome as well. So after what he did, can't find anything else on him, but you know, I'm sure he's a pretty great guy. But anyways, go ahead and get into what the studio has put out so far in terms of what they actually want to do. They said they want to go ahead and carry the interactive narrative torch into the future. Of course, Telltale was doing that before they went ahead and closed down. Now they're here to do that for us, which is definitely really great. I'm so glad they're doing this, because I think that choice and strong narrative that could be or not be interactive is a big part of why I love games like Walking Dead and Life is Strange. Sometimes they're like really great interactive and choice based, and I think that more games are moving towards that whole aspect, you know, looking at Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It incorporates a strong narrative that has choice in the story, which is definitely really awesome. And then we have games like Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to have lots of choices as well. Just more and more games are now getting to a point where we're having choices that affect the story, and they're kind of interactive in a way, which is definitely really awesome to see more AAA developers doing that. And I think Telltale really pioneered the aspect of just important, narrative and choices all in one story. Of course, Mass Effect did as well, I think, so it isn't all on Telltale, but they kind of like went ahead and did a new job with that, in my opinion. So other than that, in the article about, how they formed the studio, it says that they had hopes of forming a new studio at Ubisoft. Unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. So the trio teamed back up with Chuang to build something original on their own. So that's definitely interesting. It seems like Ubisoft turned them down maybe for the idea of a new studio. I mean, it definitely would be hard to go ahead and say, hey, Ubisoft, I want to be the new Telltale. Give us a staff, give me some developers and, a team, and I'll do it. And then Ubi was like, I don't know, Telltale just shut down, the genre's kind of scary right now, and I kind of understand why they went ahead and, denied the offer, I guess, or the ability to go ahead and make a new game studio focused on interactive narrative games. It might be a bit scary with Telltale shutting down with that same structure, so looking at that, they went ahead and made their own studio, which is definitely really impressive and really awesome as well. So what they're targeting as of right now is interactive narrative. Like, of course, they mentioned Black Mirror's Bandersnatch. Of course, it's on Netflix. It's an interactive storytelling movie that's on Netflix, and it's pretty good. Black Mirror is good in general, and it uses, of course, real actors and stuff like that. Very awesome. It really took the world by storm and was really great for the interactive narrative genre in general. So looking at that, they actually want to go ahead and do something like that, which is definitely really awesome. But the one problem I have, they mentioned in the article, is that they want to go ahead and use like real actors, okay? They said in the article, making interactive experiences with real actors on the screen is something we've always talked about. And they seem to want to go ahead and do that. Do a Bandersnatch. Do a Her Story. That's a game with actual real people in it. And right now I'm kind of like, because I would prefer to have game models, like actual game models, 3D models, textures, a game engine. I don't want them to go ahead and shoot a recording session like of live action with real actors and stuff. I don't want that. I really don't want that. If they went ahead and did motion capture and had like, for example, graphics like Uncharted or Last of Us, then that could be really great, but I'm not sure how I feel about just, throwing some MP4s together. It's definitely more complicated than that, but I don't like the idea of using real actors. I want actual game stuff. Looking at Detroit Become Human, like Quantic Dream in general, they do some incredible stuff within the genre to go ahead and push it forward. And they, use, 3D models, they use motion capture for animation, various things like that. That is how I see pushing the genre forward. Using advanced graphics and great storytelling and interactivity, that would definitely push the genre forward, in my opinion. That's pretty much it as of right now. They have not announced anything in terms of a game. They said they aren't ready to discuss their first project or a partner. So it seems like they may have went ahead and gotten a partner already. Could be Ubisoft, not really. Could be Ubisoft, could be EA, could be some other people, Square Enix, could be a publisher to help fund and publish the idea of this type of studio. Anyways, that's pretty much it as of right now. I'm Inferno-kun. Go ahead and tell me what you guys think about this news of a studio with the ideas of wanting to go ahead and do what Telltale did, but to further the genre forward. Definitely a really cool idea. Hopefully Skybound Game does the same thing as well, but we'll see about that. I'm Inferno-kun. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts, as I said, and I'll catch you guys next time. I'm out.